Hello and welcome back to Living Inspired with Autism. My name is Antoinette and I am a life coach for parents of autistic children. And this show is for parents who are done living inside limitations and are ready to start creating something different, not just for their children, but for themselves. So let me ask you something before we even begin today. And we spoke a little bit about this in the last episode. But today we are really going to do a deep dive. When was the last time someone told you what your child couldn't do? Maybe it was a doctor, maybe it was a specialist, maybe it was someone at the school who sat across from you with this folder full of assessments and tests and delivered a verdict like it was a fact. Your child won't be able to talk. Don't expect independent living. You need to manage your expectations. Prepare yourself for what is going to look like long term. And maybe, even if you didn't say it out loud, some part of you maybe started to believe them. And it's not because you've given up or that you stopped loving your child, but because you are human. And when the same message comes at you from every direction, from every system, from every person who is supposed to know better than you, it starts to seep in. It starts to become everything that you look through, the lens that you look through. And today we are going to talk about how to change that lens, those beliefs. Not through wishful thinking, not through toxic positivity, not through pretending the hard things aren't hard, but through real, practical, learnable skill that I believe is the most powerful thing available to you as a parent right now. And that's the skill of believing something different. Okay, let's go. The world of autism parenting is built on a foundation of no. No, your child can't have that therapy. No, they don't qualify for that school placement. No, we can't provide that aid. No, that program isn't available. No, the waiting list is 18 months. No, our system doesn't cover that. No, we don't have the resources. I'm sure all of you have been on the receiving end of this. And on top of all of those no's, there's clinical no as well. The no that comes with the paperwork and the assessments and the projections. No, don't get your hopes up. No, don't expect too much. No, the research shows that children like yours typically ... And something very specific happens to a parent when you hear that constant no. It doesn't just exhaust you. It doesn't just frustrate you. It does something much more insidious. It rewires your belief system. Slowly, quietly, without you even noticing sometimes. Every no chips away at the possibility that you started with. That fierce, protective, love-fueled belief that you had when you first became your child's parent. And it replaces it with something smaller, something resigned, something that says, this is just how it is. And when you start operating from this is just how it is, the way you show up changes. The way you advocate changes. The way, the energy that you bring into appointments or school meetings and daily routines, it all changes. Because your belief doesn't just live in your head, it lives in your body. It lives in the room. It lives in the space between you and your child. And your child feels your belief or your resignation, and they respond to it. They are shaped by it. Which is why changing what you believe isn't a luxury. It's not self-indulgence. It's not just being positive. It's the most strategic, most impactful, most urgent work you can do right now. Now, I want to get a little bit practical with you because I don't believe in talking about mindset without actually giving you the tools. And I've mentioned this framework before, and I use it for everything. And I mean everything. Circumstances, thoughts, feelings, actions, results. Your circumstance is the neutral fact of your life. That diagnosis, the school meeting, the therapy waitlist, the day of behavior, those things are real, and I'm not asking you to pretend that they're not. But here's where most people stop understanding how this works. Your circumstance does not create your result directly. It goes through your thoughts first, and your thoughts create a feeling, and your feeling drives your action, and your action finally creates your result, which means same circumstance, different thought, completely different result. So let me make this a little bit more real for you. Okay, so circumstance could be, my child has not yet learned to speak. Now, the first thought you could have is, the expert says this probably won't happen. I need to accept it. The feeling you get from that thought is maybe resigned or defeated or closed. And the actions that you take from that is you do just what's required. You just go through the motions. You protect yourself from hoping too hard. And the result of those actions is your child receives the minimum. Your energy communicates, we've already reached the ceiling. So let's go back to the circumstance. My child has not yet learned to speak. But your second thought could be, my child hasn't spoken yet, and I don't know what's possible because I haven't got there. Okay, so what is your feeling from that thought? Be open, determined, present, and the action you take is you keep going. You try just one more thing. You notice the progress that doesn't look like progress to anyone else. And the result is a completely different experience for both of you, and often a completely different outcome. Same child, same diagnosis, same circumstance, completely different belief. This isn't magic, and it's not naive. This is the most rigorous, evidence-based, result-producing work I know. And it starts with learning how to believe something different on purpose. Now, before I teach you how to build a new belief, I need to just explain why this feels so hard. Because if I don't, you're going to try it once. It's not going to feel natural. And then you're going to figure out that this doesn't work. Your brain is designed for automation, not for possibility, not for expansion, for efficiency, familiarity, and survival. So when you have the same thought 1,000 times, for example, my child has a ceiling, things won't change, this is just our life, that thought becomes a well-worn neural pathway. It's fast, it's automatic. Your brain reaches for it the way you reach for a light switch in the dark, without even thinking about it. And when you try to introduce a new belief, for example, my child is capable of more than anyone has told me, there is possibility that I just haven't accessed yet, your brain treats it like threat. It throws up warning signals. It says, that's not true. That thought isn't safe. Where's your evidence? What if you hope and it doesn't happen? Those warning signals feel like truth. They feel logical and they feel like wisdom. They are not. They are just your brain doing its job, which is to keep you in familiar territory, to protect you from the discomfort of uncertainty. I want you to think of it like this. Imagine you're on a road trip. Now, hopefully this will never happen to you on a road trip. But imagine that you're driving somewhere extraordinary. You're going on a vacation of a lifetime, somewhere you've never been, somewhere that's going to change your life. And you just get on the highway and your dashboard lights up. You're low on fuel. So at the next off-ramp, you go to the gas station, you put in gas, off you go, get on the highway, keep driving. And then another light comes on. Tire pressure. Oh my goodness. So the next off-ramp, you go, you fill up your tires, and you get on the road again. And the light goes on again. Engine warning. And then you pull off, you check what that's all about, you get that sorted out, and you get back on the road. Then you get another warning. Check your oil. And off you go again, take the next off-ramp, have your oil checked, fill with oil, and you keep pulling over again and again, all on this one trip, until eventually you just decide, bugger this, I am going home. I'm turning around, I'm going home, the trip is cancelled, and you never reach your destination. But what if those warning lights are just electrical malfunctions? They're not real, they're not accurate, it's just your system firing up alerts that have no basis in reality. And this is what your brain does every time you try to believe something bigger. Every doubt that surfaces, but what if this doesn't work? I've already tried. That's your dashboard lighting up with false alerts. Your job is not to obey every warning. Your job is just to stay on the road. Okay, here is the practical part. Here is what I actually want you to do. And I want to be very clear. This is not a one-time exercise. This is a daily practice, a skill that you build over time. But I am going to walk you through exactly where to start. Step 1, choose your belief. Not the belief that you've got right now, the belief you want to have. The belief that would change everything if you actually lived inside of it. Now for you, it may sound something like, my child is capable of more than anyone has told us. Or, my child is capable of talking, tying shoelaces, learning basic skills. Or, I am strong enough to keep going and keep believing. Or, progress is happening at its own pace and I trust the process. Write it down. One belief, one sentence. That's your starting point. Step 2, don't ask, is this true? Ask, why do I want to believe this? Now, this is a critical shift that most people miss. When they try to build a new belief, your brain immediately goes to, where's the evidence? Can I prove this? Is it actually true? And when the evidence isn't immediately available, which of course often it isn't, you abandon the belief before it even has a chance to take root. Instead, start with desire. Why do I want to believe that my child is capable of more? Because when I believe that, I show up differently, I advocate differently, I don't give up after the 100th attempt, I find the professional who believes it too. I create the environment where it can happen. I become the parent my child needs me to be. Desire is the doorway. It's already a belief in seed form. If you want something to be true, if you feel that pull towards it, part of you already believes it's possible. We are just going to grow that part. is step 3. Find where you already believe this, even just a little bit. This is really one of the most powerful questions you can ask. Where do I already believe this? Even just a little bit, 1%. Maybe you watched your child do something last Tuesday that nobody said they'd be able to do. Maybe you noticed that connection or communication, a moment of pure, unexpected understanding that took your breath away. That is your evidence. That's your 1%. And here's the thing about belief. You don't just jump from impossible to certain. That's not how it works. You move one rung at a time. For example, from impossible to improbable to possible to probable to inevitable. You just have to take the next step on the ladder, not the whole staircase, just one rung. Step 4, ask powerful questions and then answer them on purpose. This is a practice I come back to every single day, and it's the one I want you to build into your life. Every morning, before the noise of the day floods in, I want you to ask yourself, why is this possible for my child? Where have I already seen evidence of growth? What would I do differently today if I genuinely believed this was possible? Who does my child become when I believe in them fully? What miracle did I almost miss this week because I wasn't looking for it? And then answer them, not with that fearful brain, but with intention, with a part of you that showed up today, that never stopped trying, that is listening to this episode because you refuse to give up. Because here's what happens when you ask powerful questions and answer them on purpose. Your brain goes looking. It starts to scan your experience for evidence that confirms the belief that you're building. It starts to notice the moments you were previously too tired to see. And what you look for, you find. Now, I want to talk about the other side, but it's because it's not enough to build new beliefs if we are simultaneously, unconsciously tearing them down. And most of us are doing exactly that. Here's the thing about destructive thought. The first time it appears, it's unintentional. Your brain generated. You didn't choose it. But the moment you become aware of it, the moment you notice it and name it, and then keep thinking it anyway, it becomes a choice. That is the whole truth. But it is also a profoundly empowering one, because it means you're not at the mercy of your thoughts. You are the one with the power to redirect. Here are some belief destroyers I see most often in autism parents, and I want you to listen and just notice which ones feel a little familiar to you. We've already tried everything. This one shuts down possibility entirely. It converts a temporary result into a permanent verdict. Other children progress, mine is different. Now, this one puts your child in a category called exception to what's possible. And once they're in that category, every hard day becomes proof, and every good day just becomes a fluke. I don't want to hope too much because the disappointment is too painful. And this one breaks my heart the most because I understand it so completely. And because the cost of it, the half energy, the held back belief, the arms that aren't fully opening, is paid by your child. The experts know more than I do. Yes, the experts know statistics. They do not know your child. They have never sat with your child at the kitchen table at 7 p.m. watching something change. You have. That knowledge matters. Another one is, I'm too exhausted to believe right now. And this one, the exhaustion is real. You are doing something that would bring most people to their knees. But here's what I also know. Exhaustion is often not physical. It's that weight of believing alone, of carrying hope by yourself in a world that keeps handing you reasons to put it down, which is exactly why you shouldn't be doing this alone. So I want to take a break here just for a moment and speak to you about some of you that have been trying to hold this belief together by yourself for such a long time. You being the one who keeps going when the system says no. You being the one who stays up researching and advocating and trying one more thing. You're the one who holds it together when everything falls apart. And I want you to know that is extraordinary. And it's also not sustainable without support. This is the work that I do with my one-on-one parents in my coaching practice. We go into those exact beliefs that are running your life. We find the ones that's been eroding your energy and your hope. And we build new ones, real, proper, grounded, embodied beliefs that you actually feel in your body. And we create a completely different experience for you. Not by changing circumstances, but by changing your beliefs, the way you see things. So if you're ready to stop doing this alone, if something in you is saying, yes, this is just what I need, I want to invite you to book a complimentary one-on-one consultation with me. It's a real conversation. It's a coaching conversation. We are looking exactly where you are, what's running in the background, and what could shift if you had real support. So the link is in the show notes. It takes a couple of minutes to book. And if you're on the fence, if you're thinking, I'd love to, but I don't know if now is the right time, I just want to say this to you. The parents who have had the most breakthroughs are the ones who are the most tired when they reach out. The ones who've been doing it alone the longest. If that's you, and especially if that's you, please reach out. Okay, let's keep going. Here is one of the most powerful concepts I want to leave with you today, and it comes from the idea of trying a belief on, like a piece of clothing that you're not quite sure about yet. You don't have to fully believe something to start practicing it. You just have to be willing to try it on. So here's what I mean. When you imagine your child's future, when you let yourself picture what is possible, who they may become, what their life might look like, you are already doing this work. You already have the capacity to inhabit a future that hasn't happened yet. You do it when you imagine a holiday before you take it. You do it when you picture a conversation that you're preparing for. You do it when you think about your child growing up, even the version you're not sure is possible. You have the ability to place yourself inside a future outcome and feel what it feels like to be there. This is a delusion or magical thinking. This is how identity is built. You rehearse that version of yourself you are becoming until they start feeling more real than the version you are leaving behind. So I want you to try this right now, or tonight, or tomorrow morning before the day starts. Close your eyes and imagine yourself 6 months from now. You're still the parent of an autistic child. Nothing about the diagnosis has changed, but everything about how you are carrying it has. You wake up and your first thought isn't a dread. It's something more grounded. more steady, a sense of, I know how to do this. You go into an appointment and you advocate with a clarity that surprises even you. You don't retreat when they say no. You know what to ask next. You watch your child do something that they weren't supposed to be able to do, and instead of it feeling like a miracle, instead of it feeling like this fragile, fleeting thing, it feels like the beginning of something, like evidence of a pattern you are starting to trust. Who is that parent? How do they hold themselves? What do they believe that you don't quite believe yet? It's not a fantasy. That is direction. And your job, starting today, is to take one small step forward. So let me give you the practice in its simplest form, because I don't want you to finish this episode inspired and all fired up and then not know what to do next. Every day, ideally every morning before the noise comes in, I want you to do 3 things. 1, choose your belief for the day. It doesn't have to be the same one every day. It just has to be specific. Not, I believe good things are possible, but I believe my child is getting closer to whatever that specific thing is, and I am the right person to support that. Number 2, ask one powerful question. Answer it fully, deeply, because the real breakthroughs don't come from that first surface level answer. They come when you keep going. Ask what else? What else? What else? Keep asking until you hit something that lands in your body. A thought that makes you sit up straighter, that creates that small electric feeling of yes, that. That moment is the belief taking root. Hold it for as long as you can in your body, and then come back again to it tomorrow. 3, look for evidence. At the end of every day, ask yourself, where did I see something today that could be evidence that my belief is true? Not proof or certainty, just a small little thread, a moment, a tiny signal, and write it down. Keep a list, because your brain needs to be retrained to look for what is working. And the only way to retrain it is to intentionally, repeatedly show it what to look for. Over time, this daily practice builds something extraordinary. This grounded, unshakable knowing that there is more possible here than anyone has told you. The miracle you are waiting for your child in some form is already happening. It's happening every single day. It's happening in your child, who is growing and changing and reaching at their own pace in their extraordinary way, on a timeline, of course, that belongs only to them. And it's happening in you. The parent that you're becoming through this journey, the capacity, the resilience, the fierce love, the advocacy skills, and the deep, deep knowing of your child that no specialist will ever have. It's not a consolation prize. This is the whole thing. This is the miracle. You're not waiting to become the parent your child needs. You are already that parent. You just need to start believing it. And belief, as we've talked about today, is not something you find. It's something you build. One question, one thought, one morning practice at a time. And you didn't come this far by giving up. You came this far by being the kind of person who keeps believing when everyone else has stopped. Keep going. The next rung of the ladder is right there. All you have to do is reach for it. So before I let you go, I just want to say this one more time because it matters. You don't have to believe, or you don't have to build this new belief system alone. I work one-on-one with parents of autistic children, and what we do together is exactly what we've walked through today. We go deep into the beliefs running your life. We find the ones that you were handed to by a system that deals in statistics, not in the specific extraordinary one-of-a-kind child that you're raising. We dismantle the ones that are costing you energy, and we build new ones, real ones, grounded ones, ones that create genuine, different experience in this life. Now, the parents I work with describe it as feeling like themselves again. They're feeling capable again, feeling like this journey, that there are so many possibilities, not just, but during the hard things, alongside the hard things. If you want that, book a consultation call. It's free, it's real, and it might be the most important hour you spend this year. The link to book is in the show notes. I read every application first, and I cannot wait to talk with you. Thank you for being here today. If this episode shifted something in you, please share it with another autism parent who needs to hear it. Leave a review if you're listening on Apple Podcasts. It genuinely helps this message reach the families who need it most. And until next time, keep asking better questions. Keep looking for evidence. Keep believing. I'll see you next week. Bye.